Morning. Good morning. We have a very lively group this morning, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll count to three, and on the three, that's what I used to do in school. So then everyone will be quiet. Is that a deal? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. So I want to warmly welcome each and every one of you to the New York Community Center for Spiritual Living this morning. And we are going to have a spiritual mind treatment. We will then have a reading, and we will have some wonderful music from our musical guests, Julie and James. I knew that, James. I knew that. James and Julie, Julie and James. They are going to be doing the music for us this morning. I was just testing you on that. So we're going to have our treatment this morning, which will be done by Kurt Hassinger. Can you feel the energy in here? It's really good energy, right? Good energy. So please help me welcome Kurt Hassinger, who's going to be doing our treatment.
Good morning, everyone. Let us take a deep breath and sit up straight with our hands out in our upright position. The theme for this month is divine guidance, so I'm going to do a spiritual mind treatment on our divine connection. So let us go within. This word is spoken into the law of mind in action for each one in this room, including the speaker. We know and we recognize that there is one power and presence for good in the universe that supports us in every way. And this one power is one God, it's one intelligence, it's one life, and it's one mind. Each one here in this room is unified with this one power by way of our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is divinely connected to the one mind of God. Let this truth now be known and declared that each one in this room, including the speaker, is hereby now recognizing our own spiritual magnificence. And by this recognition, we now know and understand the universal law that our mind is divinely connected to the one mind of God. Therefore, each one here asks for and does receive divine guidance on a daily basis. And by understanding this universal law, each one here is now using it for their divine good by manifesting goodness and abundance in our daily lives, beginning right here and right now. We know that negative thoughts have no law to support them, therefore they have no power over anyone in this room. Therefore, any thoughts that may include doubt and fear, which is not a spiritual truth, are hereby now uprooted and dissolved away into the nothingness from which they came. And from this new space of nothingness in our minds, because we know the universe abhors a vacuum, are only new thoughts flooding our consciousness of love and truth. I hereby now affirm that each one here in this room is understanding and utilizing their divine connection for their good. Each one here now understands that their mind is divinely connected to the one mind of God and is using it for their divine good right here, right now, and on a daily basis. And I affirm this truth knowing that as we ask, so too shall we receive, for that is a spiritual law. I now release this word into the law of mind in action for each one in this room. This word is now moving forward into the realm of the absolute where all things are possible. It is moving forward with mathematical and mechanical certitude and manifesting for our good right here, right now. So be it, and so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank you so much for that beautiful treatment this morning. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful treatment. And now we are going to have a reading done by one of our practitioners, Emily Howard. Please help me welcome Emily.
My reading today is from 365, Science of Mind. Divine power is mine to use. Everything in nature is an individualization of one coordinating life, one law of being, and one presence. The mind has become so filled with that which contradicts this idea that even the truth has to await our recognition. You must learn to become consciously aware of the divine presence and the divine power, the wholeness of truth, of love, of reason, and of sound mind. Instead of dwelling on negative thoughts, cause your mind to dwell on peace and joy. Know that the power of the invisible spirit is working in and through you now, at this very moment. Lay hold of this realization with complete certainty. Say, I know that I am a perfect being now, living under perfect conditions today. Knowing that good alone is real, I accept that there is one power that acts and reacts in my experience, in my body, and in my thought. I know that good alone has power either to act or react. I know that this recognition establishes the law of harmony in my experience, the law of prosperity, a sense of happiness, peace, health, and joy. Today, I hold a communion with this invisible presence that peoples the world with the manifestations of its life, its light, and its love. I withdraw the veil that hides my real self and draw close to the Spirit in everything and in everyone. I accept everything that belongs to this Spirit. I claim everything that partakes of its nature. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. That was wonderful. And now we're going to have our announcements. So next week I am doing a workshop right here after the service from 12:30 until 2 o'clock. There's a flyer on the back table. The workshop will focus on methods and techniques for creating prosperity in your own life. And we're going to be working with the ideas from Catherine Ponder's book, The Prospering Power of Divine Love. I really love that book. It's very enjoyable. So a love offering is suggested, but no one is turned away for their ability to pay. So that will be next week. We're looking forward to that. And we are also going to have some new fall classes coming up. There will be announcements about those. And I did share with all of you that Carol Look will be with us. So she's coming in October. I think it's October 17th. But we'll have announcements about that. We're having a concert the end of September. I told you about that. We'll have flyers and announcements about that. This gentleman used to play with Carlos Santana. I love Carlos Santana. And also Earth, Wind, and Fire. Beautiful, beautiful, incredible musicians. And speaking of musicians, I just want to honor two wonderful musical guests that we have here this morning. I hope they don't mind. Cosmos and his partner, Barry. I would like to just warmly welcome each one of you. Yes. Welcome to our center. You are always welcome here. And having said that, it is now time for us to wish each other a happy Sunday. So let's do that. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Yoichi. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. And now it is time for us to have some incredible music with our featured guest artists today, James and Julie. See, I got you, James.
Reverend Loretta, I rarely get to hear my name first, so earlier that was nice. That was a nice treat. Well, we picked a classic about trusting the divine, Let It Be. So this is, of course, a sing-along, because you probably all know it. Feel free to join in. Ready? Myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Everybody, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. 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 There will be an answer. There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Whisper words. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be.
Wow, you guys sound great out there.
Nice job.
Gorgeous. Oh my goodness.
Wonderful music. Thank you, Julian James. Thank you, Julian James. Thank you. That was really terrific. I love that. And I always say that when you come in here in the morning, however you're feeling, when you leave here, you will feel a lot better. This is one of the joys and the blessings that we receive from this wonderful teaching called Science of Mind. And so this morning I am speaking to you about spiritual power, and we're talking about divine guidance. And so every morning I say, let's say this together because I say it all the time, I ask for and receive divine guidance. And I say that all of the time, every day, because I recognize that there is a power within me and there is a power within you that is always blessing you, uplifting you, and inspiring you. And so I'm going to start out, the name of the talk is Trust the Power of Spirit. And what I want to start out with is a biblical verse which really served me for so many years, and it goes like this. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. I love those words. They're very beautiful. And this is a teaching about words. This is a teaching that blesses us by the words that we think of and the words that we say. And we are always blessed by the power of the Spirit within us. Each and every one of us then receives a blessing from being connected to the one power and the one presence. Trust the power. So I also, from Ernest Holmes, want to say something that he said many years ago, which is very true. He said, life never expresses by externals, but always by a process of interior awareness. The divine exists as a measure of our belief. So it is what we believe in. And then he goes on to say something about prayer and treatment, which really woke me up. I hope it wakes you up. I think most of you are already awake this morning. You're a lively group. So I want to say to you something that he said that really woke me up. He said, treatment is the conscious use of spiritual power. Do you hear that? Treatment is the conscious use of spiritual power. When we are using spiritual power, we are co-creating with the divine, and we are creating our lives knowing something for ourselves and for other people in a divine way, in a spiritual way. And so when we trust that power, when you plug something into the wall, whatever kind of appliance or cell phone or whatever it is, you don't say, I don't know if this is going to work or not. You know that it's going to work. And it's the same thing with the spiritual power that we are using in treatment. I want to share a story with you this morning, as I usually do. You know, I've been looking at those people in Thailand, those young children. There are about 10 of them, and there's also the soccer coach. Is it soccer? Yes. So they're all trapped in this cave, and I started praying right away for them. I started treating to know that Spirit would guide them and guide the divers, and that they would be blessed and uplifted and inspired and empowered to get them out of there. You know, whenever I see something like that on television, I go into prayer and treatment for the people to be guided out. But part of the lesson this morning I want to share with you is that there were so many people on the news that were telling you all the reasons why they would never get out of there, you see? And I thought about it for this lesson this morning. How many times do we tell ourselves why we cannot do something? Yes? And how many times can we know with authority that we can do something? Whatever it is for you. So I said, these people are telling me all the reasons why these people cannot do this, why they can't get through the cave. And I am saying to Spirit, yes, they can, and yes, they will. I am knowing that with conviction. I am holding what we call a high watch for these young boys to get out of this cave with their coach. So 4 of them this morning were rescued. And we are knowing together in group consciousness that the rest of them will also be taken out of there. This goes for each and every one of us within our own lives. There's a lesson for each and every one of us with this. You see, when you begin to treat and know, when you come from that internal knowingness, when nothing can stop you and no one can stop you. People say, well, this is the reason why I can't do this. Why are you arguing against yourself? When you trust the power, when you trust the divine guidance, you begin to understand and accept that there is a power that is so strong within you that it is constantly bringing you into right action and right knowing. You are treating to know something. There's a book that was written by Stephanie Sorensen called The Great Continuum, where she talks about prayer, and she says, what are you doing in between your prayers? And that's what I'm talking to you about this morning. Having faith in that power, because that power is so great and so wonderful. It supports us, it blesses us, it uplifts us, it knows only to give to us and to flow like a river. We are the ones that step on it, and we have to stop doing that. And so I came up with this idea for this lesson this morning. Write down some of the reasons why you can do something rather than the reasons why you cannot. Write down the reasons why you can get better, why whatever that health issue is for you, whatever that wealth issue is for you, that you can co-create with Spirit and create a solution, a spiritual solution. There's a spirit within each and every one of us that is always giving to us, always flowing through us. We are co-creating with it at all times. It is a wonderful thing to be a part of this teaching. My teacher, Dr. Grayson, used to say, you are heirs to this work. And you are, but you have to understand that. And you have to understand it not only from the way in which you speak it, but the way in which you are feeling it and the way in which you are representing the power of the Spirit within you. Argue for yourself, not against yourself, you see? I keep knowing, I keep saying that these people, these young children will come out of there, and I want all of you to join me in consciousness and say a prayer for them. Reverend Michael Beckwith talks about this. When you see something on the news, it's a call for prayer. It's a call for healing. Begin to do your treatment work, not only for yourself, but also for other people. Because when you help others, you are really helping yourself. Because what we give out, we are getting back. That is part of our treatment work, the treatment work that we are doing. So becoming aware with treatment that you are consciously using spiritual power. You are coming into alignment with this power. This is a lesson about trust. I'm not telling you to trust someone or something. I'm telling you to trust the power within you. There is a spiritual power within you that knows all things and that is a co-creator with you. Know that on a deeper level. Get a deepened awareness with conviction about that power and how it can help you in your life, how it can bless you in your life. We hold on to things very dearly and very tightly, and I know that because I do that myself. But we have to learn how to release and let go of all of these so-called false ideas. You see, when I do treatment work for people, I get them telling me all the time why they can't do something. And if I listen to them and I join them in consciousness, then I am creating more of a problem for them. You have to begin to know who and what you are. You are part of a divine heritage, made in the image and likeness of Spirit. Divine intelligence is always flowing through you and creating for you, empowering you, blessing you. Ernest Holmes says then that treatment is the conscious use of spiritual power. You become conscious that you are part of this great spiritual system and that you can utilize it and use it for your greatest good all of the time. We do a practice every day. We do our prayer work. We do our treatment. Some of us are meditating, which is also wonderful. All of these tools that we are using are allowing us to become the best people that we can become. And that's really what we want to do with our lives, yes? Yes. We all want to have a better experience in life, whether it be health, wealth, creativity, or self-expression. That's all that we want from life, is to become the very best people that we can become. The power of Spirit will always go to work for you. It will always go to work for you. And I want to share with you something from my teacher's book, because it's part of the lesson this morning. And I love this book, and I really wish that we could get more of his work, Collected Essays of Dr. Grayson. He writes something in this book that's very wonderful. And he's talking to each and every one of us. He says something, there are 6 points to access a new experience. And this is part of trusting the power. Recognize the divine potential within. It is the universal intelligence that is everywhere present. In other words, it is present within each and every one of us, but we must wake up to it. We must be aware of it, which is what Ernest Holmes is saying. Conscious use of spiritual power. How many people in this room know that there is a spiritual power and presence within you? Yes, we all know that. So that's the first thing. Recognize the power is there. And then he says, number 2, understand that all things are possible if you have the consciousness for attainment of your desires. All things are possible. All things, not some things, all things. I was watching a show yesterday. I'm sharing all these shows with you. Sometimes I do that. It's just part of my nature, I guess. I was watching this show about Ayanna von Sant. She was on the Oprah Network, because I'm trying to find different shows that are different from the news, because when I watch the news, I send out prayers and then I turn it off. So anyway, Ayanna von Sant, this is really part of this lesson today. This woman was working at Walmart. She was a single parent with 4 children. True story. She won the lottery, $188 million lottery. Nice amount of money, right? Yes? Wow, yes. I knew you'd like that. That's probably why I'm sharing this with you. Anyway, she had a wonderful, wonderful experience with that money until she started spending it, okay? 20 million here, 15 million there, here a little million, there a little million, everywhere a little million. So what I'm telling you is that this woman went through a lot of money, and Ayanna von Sant said to her, and this is part of what we are learning in this teaching, she said, it's not here, meaning the money, it's here. The consciousness of wealth is a consciousness that we have, because when you have wealth, you must protect it. And you must know that it's valuable, it has value. This woman did not place any value, this is what Ayanna was saying to her, on herself or her money. Instead of saving it or nurturing it and spending it for things she needed, she was squandering it and she was throwing it away. You see? The reason I'm sharing that, this is what Dr. Grayson is talking about when he says, if you have the consciousness for attainment of your desire, and Ayanna said something very interesting to her. She said, look at how you have been blessed. How many people in this world would love to be blessed this way? You have to become a good steward. That was my teacher's name, Stewart. He must be with us this morning. You must be a good steward for your money. You must be a good steward for your prosperity. Understand that all things are possible if you have the consciousness for the attainment of your desires. That's what we are working with. We are working in consciousness to improve our conditions. For some of you, it may be money. Others of you, it may be health. Maybe it's wealth. Maybe it's creativity and self-expression or relationships. Those are our 4 areas of life. We are always improving upon them through our spiritual mind treatment. And number 3, he says, realize new possibilities are at work. They operate everywhere. It is called the law of evolution. And I love this, the law of evolution, because we are always evolving according to our consciousness. What are you willing to let go of? If you're being stressed out, are you going to look at this as something that's an everyday occurrence, or are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to stop maybe in the middle of your day and do a treatment to release, neutralize, and dissolve any stress that you are feeling? You have a gift in this teaching, and that gift is the methodology from Ernest Holmes, and it is called spiritual mind treatment. It is your use of the spiritual power and how it works through each and every one of us. And each and every one of us uses it in a different way. We use it according to our understanding, and people say according to your belief, and I say according to your knowing. Because when you get into this teaching and you begin to know as God knows, as Spirit knows, you let go of a belief and you begin to know. You come from a knowingness. It's no longer anything. It's a new knowingness. Knowing yourself as God knows you. Knowing yourself as the spirit of life, the divine intelligence knows you. You are whole, perfect, and complete. Every fiber of your being is filled with life. I think I was a religious scientist even as a young child. I've told this story, but I'll tell it again. The doctor told my parents that I needed to have my tonsils out. My sister was younger, I was older. And I said to my parents, I'm not having my tonsils out. I was maybe 9 or 10. They said, but the doctor said. And I said, but I'm not having them out. My sister had them out, but I didn't have them out. Even back then, I said, the tonsils are there for a reason. Why do, tonsils? Everybody at that time was going to get their tonsils out because they got ice cream, right? Yeah, some of you remember that. But I knew then that my tonsils were there for a reason, and I wanted to keep them. And sometimes doctors are wonderful, they are incredible human beings, and sometimes we have to know that just like the rest of us, they have their limitations. We have to turn to the Spirit. We have to go to the Spirit and know that the Spirit is creating a healthy condition in our body. And when we begin to do this, we begin to have our health and our well-being. We treat for well-being, regardless of what it is. Financial, health, wealth, creativity, all of those good things. And the next thing he says about from these points is, know there is one source of life. Therefore, you are a channel through which this energy flows. I love that. One source. God is my source and my supply. I say that also. God is my source. When something happens out there and I begin to tighten up and think, what's going to happen now? Who can I turn to? I turn to Spirit. Because I know that there is a Spirit within me that is always evolving and providing richly and abundantly for me, you see. Dr. Grayson used to always tell us, whenever you go shopping somewhere, if you go to one of those high-end stores and you cannot afford something, don't say that to yourself. Say, I choose not to have it at this time. And the reason he was doing that is because he was priming the pump of consciousness for each and every one of us to know that, yes, we may not choose it now, but we can have it another time. Rather than saying, I can't have that, I'm so poor, I'll never be able to have. You don't want to do that to your consciousness. You must treat your consciousness with respect, with every area of your life, with your health and your well-being, with your emotions and your relationships. There are times in my own life when I pray for people. My latest thing is when I don't get along with someone, and I've had a few people I haven't gotten along with. Anybody else with me? And so when I don't get along with someone, I pray for peace for them. Sometimes I just can't go there with all the love and all that. So I pray for them to be at peace and for me to be at peace. And it works. It really works. Let there be peacefulness with this person. and let there be peacefulness within me about the person. You see? So there's always something that we can treat for. There's always something that we can know, that we are so richly blessed. And then he says, appreciate the universal intelligence is producing your life by means of your mind and your thoughts. All of your needs are fulfilled. And he says something very interesting. You have to clear your consciousness of mental obstructions. What I was talking to you about, these divers, these Navy SEALs that are so brave, that are going in to rescue all of these people. The first thing they're doing on the news is telling you all the reasons why they'll never get out of there. You see? And the first thing that we have to do is say all the reasons that they will get out of there and all the reasons that they will be rescued. We can never give up. Giving up is not for us. We are part of this teaching. We don't give up. We keep on going. We keep on moving forward, onward, and upward in consciousness into a greater realization of not only who we are, but whose we are. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that in our activities during the day. And in this treatment that I am doing for these children, I am knowing that they are coming out of there with the divers because I know that Spirit will go before them and make the crooked places straight. And that is something that each and every one of us can remember. Not only for ourselves, but for other people as well. We don't want to do harm in here. I've said that before. There's no need for that. There's only a need to love and to be at one with the one. And to know that out of that oneness comes goodness, wholeness, harmony, and peace. I posted something on Facebook. We're on Facebook. You all know that, right? I'm not really that good with all of this technology stuff, but we are on Facebook. And Ravi Shankar, do you remember Ravi Shankar? Yes? Okay, he's from India. He's a beautiful soul. And I posted something from Ravi Shankar on the Facebook page. There's a meditation that he does. It's very beautiful. He tells your body to smile. It's really, really wonderful. I would ask all of you if you'd like to look at it. He talks about his life a little bit, and he talks about a lot of different things. And he does meditations for people all over the world. He goes into prisons, and he's on Mind Valley. And one of the things that Vishen said to him was, what is your secret? And he said, it's love. It's just giving love, freely giving love out to people, telling people that they are loved. So that's really his message. He's a real humanitarian, a very spiritual man. Very, very spiritual man. But I wanted to bring that up because I'd like you to take a look at Facebook and look at that meditation. It's very, very beautiful. And then finally, Dr. Grayson is talking about demonstrating. And he says, a demonstration is a representation in the lives of our consciousness. In the lives of our consciousness. Your consciousness is what creates. Your consciousness is what gives to you the power, the presence, the awareness, the joy, the peace. When you love who you are, you may start out liking who you are. And then you begin to love who you are. And you know that you are being blessed from within. Each and every one of you in this room is receiving a blessing through these words and through this message. And when you know that you are accepted and loved by the power and presence of Spirit, there is only goodness in your life, which is flowing through each and every one of you. I want to end this lesson this morning with something that is very wonderful, and then I'm going to do a meditation, or actually not a meditation, a treatment. But I want to end this with a message from one of my favorite Beatles, and it's interesting that they started out with, because this was already planned, and we didn't plan this, but they started out with one of the Beatles songs called Let It Be. This is a message from George Harrison. He was my favorite Beatle. And he did the concert for Bangladesh. You all remember that many, many years ago. And Ravi Shankar was the person who asked him to do the concert. So I want to leave you with these words, and then I'll do a treatment for each and every one of you. George Harrison said many, many years ago, he's been gone, he's away from us for many years, but he said these words, and this message rings clear today as much as it did many years ago when he wrote it. He said, we were talking about the world that's grown so cold, and the people who gain the world but lose their soul. They don't know, they can't see. But when you've seen beyond yourself, you will know that we are all one, and life flows on within you and without you. And so ends our lesson. And I'm going to do a treatment for each and every one of you to bless you, uplift you, and inspire you. So let's be still and let's know this truth together. So this word is now being spoken into law for each and every person right now in this room and for the speaker. We are knowing, understanding, and completely accepting that God, the spiritual power of life, is at work in each and every one of our lives this morning. Each one then is more connected to the Spirit than ever before. Each person in this room delights in the Spirit, moves forward with the Spirit, expresses as the Spirit, as the oneness. And through this word, each and every one begins to trust this power in a new, more magnificent way. Each one moves out into life, not only blessed, inspired, and uplifted, but moving forward, onward, and upward in consciousness into a new revelation about each one's life. As each one is more connected to this power, they are displaying demonstrations of joy and peace and prosperity. Peacefulness, letting go of any appearances of confusion, fear, or anger. All of this now is released into the nothingness from whence it came. And each and every person in this room is filled with the love, the peace, and the joy of spirit, inspired from within to redirect their lives and their consciousness from freedom to love, to joy, to peacefulness, greater health, greater wealth, greater creativity and self-expression, and more loving, harmonious relationships. These words are the truth for each and every one of us. And each one has a very wonderful demonstration this week. And for this and so much more, I am grateful. And I say thank you, Spirit, releasing this word into the law, knowing that it is done, so be it, and together we say, and so it is. And that is the way it is. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. And now we're going to have our offering. So let's take wonderful music from James and Julie.
All right, and now for something completely different. We are going to rock the house. Get your energy flowing and your good feelings going. So in a little nod to Independence Day, we're going to do Katy Perry's Firework for you. And with you, I hope, if you'll sing with us.
Yes, please sing. You guys sounded so great just moments ago.
Can we make sure we're tuned together? Can you just play me an A? Got it.
My MP3 player is called a Zen. It likes coming here. But it does tend to go to sleep. Thank you, Gary. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again?
Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards with no payment in?
Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screams, but no one seems to hear a thing?
Do you know that there's still a chance for you? There's a spark in you, you just gotta ignite
The light and let it shine. Just hold the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go ah, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go ah, ah, ah. You're gonna leave 'em all in awe, awe, awe. You don't have to feel like a wasted space. Your original cannot be replaced.
Only you, what the future
doors are closed, so you could open one that leads you to the perfect road.
Like a lightning bolt, your heart will blow, and when it's time you'll know. You just gotta ignite the light and let it
Shine, just on the night, like the 4th of July. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go ah, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go ah, ah, ah. You're gonna leave them all in awe. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. It's always been inside of you, you, you. And now it's time to let it through. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go ah, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go ah, ah, ah. You're gonna leave 'em all in awe. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon.
All right, guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks for dancing out there. That was great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, James and Julie. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.